In August 2018, a 50-year-old racer, powered by twin nitro-fueled V8s and nearly 5,000 horsepower, roared back to life on the Bonneville Salt Flats. Built in 1968 and sidelined by tragedy, it now races across the salt chasing 448 miles per hour to shatter the world record for the fastest piston-powered car. But it was more about a son honoring his father's unfinished dream. Will he keep the legacy alive? To understand Danny Thompson's great story, we have to rewind to where it all began, with a man whose name was already etched into motorsport legend. Long before extreme sports became a household term, Mickey Thompson was living it, constantly redefining what was possible on wheels. From dominating Baja Desert races to pushing boundaries at the Indy 500, his passion for breaking records was unmatched. In 1960, Mickey arrived at the Bonneville Salt Flats with a radical creation, Challenger 1. It was a sleek, four-engine monster powered by blown Pontiac V8s. That car made history by becoming the first American to surpass 400 miles per hour, hitting 406.6 miles per hour. But fate had other plans. Mechanical failure cut his record attempt short before he could complete it, leaving the dream unfulfilled. Undeterred, Mickey returned in 1968 with a new vision, Challenger 2. It was a twin-engine streamliner designed to take the world's piston-powered land speed record. But once again, fate intervened. Rain prevented a single-timed run, and then financial troubles halted any chance of return. Years later, tragedy struck the Thompson family when Mickey and his wife Trudy were brutally murdered, and the Challenger 2 was kept away in storage as a monument to a dream left unfinished. But dreams like that don't stay buried forever. Decades passed, but the story of Challenger 2 was far from over. Danny Thompson, Mickey's son, grew up carrying the weight of that legacy and the promise he intended to keep. Unlike many who might have let the past rest, Danny saw potential where others saw rust and dust. With determination, he rallied a small army of volunteers and enthusiasts to breathe life back into the 1968 machine. The project took 8 long years. Danny knew this was more than just a mechanical challenge. It was a personal mission to fulfill his father's dream. Delayed by time and tragedy, but never forgotten. Slowly, the Challenger 2 transformed from a relic into a weapon of speed once more, ready to roar back onto the salt and chase the record that had dodged its maker for half a century. Who said raw history alone wouldn't break a land speed record? The outside of the Challenger 2 may have stayed true to Mickey Thompson's original design, but under the skin, it was a different beast entirely. To break a record that had stood for years, the car needed more than nostalgia. Danny Thompson equipped it with 2 massive nitromethane-fueled Hemi V8 engines, each hand-built and tuned to perfection. Combined, they produced nearly 5,000 horsepower. All delivered to the ground through a custom-built drivetrain designed to survive the violence of high-speed desert runs. But speed isn't just about power, it's about precision. The body was carefully reshaped to cut through air like a knife, the cockpit reinforced to protect Danny in case something went wrong at 400+ miles per hour. As the car came together, so did a team. Most of them weren't full-time mechanics or engineers. They were volunteers, techies, and lifelong friends who gave their nights, weekends, and money to bring Challenger 2 back to life. For 8 years, they worked in garages and workshops, facing delays, funding shortages, and countless technical challenges. There were setbacks that nearly ended the project, but no one quit. The bond between Danny and his crew was forged through the shared weight of legacy and the thrill of chasing the impossible. They weren't doing this for money or fame, but for themselves. Each wrench turned, each part installed, brought them one step closer to the salt. And as the summer of 2018 approached, so did their shot at making history. Everything they had worked for was about to be put to the test. When Danny Thompson and the Challenger 2 finally rolled out onto the salt in August 2018, it felt like time had finally come. The car, built in the era of the moon landing, now stood ready to take on a modern world. On his first run, Danny pushed the Streamliner to an incredible 446 miles per hour. It was faster than any piston-powered car in history. But to make it official, he had to do it again, in the opposite direction. The next morning, under a blazing Bonneville sun, the Challenger 2 launched once more. This time, Danny clocked a return run of 450 miles per hour. Combined, the two runs averaged out to 448.757 miles per hour, officially breaking the previous record of 439 miles per hour held by George Petit. The Challenger 2 had done it. Okay, if a 50-year-old car just shattered 448 miles per hour, the least you could do is smash that subscribe button. It's way easier and a lot safer. As the dust settled, the crowd roared. But for Danny, it was more than a celebration. He'd done what his father couldn't because life got in the way. This victory felt like finally finishing a story that had always been missing its last chapter. Danny later said, "We did it," but those words carried generations of meaning. This record was more about the journey, the people who helped make it happen, and the memory of a father who sparked it all. The Challenger 2 was retired shortly after, with its mission finally complete. It wouldn't chase another record because it didn't need to. It had already become something greater than just a race car. It became a tribute and a symbol of what it means to never give up on a dream, even if it takes 50 years to see it through. So, what did you think of this incredible run? And what extreme record do you want us to cover next? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Each one of them is read. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the ride, give us a like, hit subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss a moment of speed and greatness.